Venerable Maha Sangha and Upasika. As this is limited to you all, I cannot say brothers and sisters. Whatsoever, I would like to be practical. I would like to be practical in this session. Therefore, I think I want to get your understanding and views. What do you think? Whether I should do this Dhamma talk sitting like this, or whether you want a Dhamma session shared by me just like in the classroom background. Just interaction between the teacher and the students. How do you expect? What is more practical for you to understand? Traditionally, I do Dhamma talk sitting on the chair like this. Do you want this manner or either manner of a teacher? You want a classroom environment. What's your expectation? Yeah, I go here and there, write something on the board and try to be a teacher in a classroom. Yeah, that is more interaction. As I have done teaching English as a second language in my for my master, so I know I have practiced teaching methodology. So I know when we employ them, we will have more interaction. That's why I ask. You should not feel sleepy or boring. Okay, let me do like a class, Dhamma class. Today's, of course, this session about first and second precept. First and second precept. What are the first and second precept? You have observed 5 precepts earlier. Sometimes on full moon day and new moon day, you observed 8 precepts. Then you become Upasika or Upasaka, and having gone beyond, you have observed 10 precepts. These venerables also, as novice monks, they have observed the 10 precepts for the novice monks. We call it Pabbajja, Dasa, Sila. Then yours one, that is called Dasa Sila, 10 precepts. 10 precepts. What are the 10 precepts? Can you recite? Number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, like that up to 10. I know you have the document. Yes, of course in Pali. You should be able to read the Pali version. First one is what is? Pānāti Pāta Veramani Sikkāpadang. Second one, Adinna Dana Veramani Sikkāpadang. Then some more 8 precepts. So I will do on first and 2. First and second. Pānāti Pāta Veramani Sikkāpadang. Adinna Dana Veramani Sikkāpadang. Then the rest of the precepts. will be explained by Bhante Kondanya and Bhikkhuni Subhagya in the second and third Dhamma sessions. Let me say like this. Have you visited any hospital in your lifetime?
Yes.
Who are there? Doctors, nurses, patients, visitors as well. Who is the most important person in that hospital? Patient. Why we call that person is very important? Without persons, there is no profession called doctor or nurse, so no need their service. We require their service because of the patients. Then why do we consider the person is very important? Any idea? Need help, yeah. Why do they need help? They are sick, yeah, because they are sick. Then why?
They cannot help themselves.
They need help because of they are suffering due to their sickness or illness. They are suffering a lot. Patient. 2 words. I'll be do one Dhamma talk later on about patience. Patience means the same spelling, the same word we used for 2 meaning. One is to tolerate, the other one is to introduce who? The sick person in the hospital or wherever. Why do we use the same word to introduce a noble quality called practice of the tolerance and a person who is sick? Totally different. You know, patient also has to practice the patience, so tolerate suffering. If not, he or she cannot recover from the sickness. Could you understand? Therefore, whatever sufferings are there, they have to be patient. Patients have to be patient. So doctors will visit and doctors will do some treatment. Sometimes they have to undergo surgeries, treatments. Sometimes the doctors and nurses will cut their body parts to operate them, to do operations or surgeries. Then what happened? The pain will come because of the surgery when the doctors treat them. If the patients need to recover their normal health, good health as usual, they have to tolerate their pain because of the sickness and the treatments sometimes given by the doctors. Therefore, they have to practice tolerance. And in addition to that, patience is a noble quality. Could you understand? Patience, tolerance is a noble quality. So we call it patient, and the same word is used to introduce the sick person. Why I am telling like this? Do you think the sick people in hospitals are only they, the sick people? Do you think whether they are the only sick people in the world? No, we all are sick. Why? We are suffering a lot. you get anger, you get jealousy, you cultivate hatred, you cultivate negative emotions, attitudes. Do you? Of course. Then, are we healthy? Modern scientists have found out, they have found it out, and they have pointed out that these negative emotions can support to physical diseases as well. When these physical diseases and the mental diseases or sicknesses, when we are not healthy mentally and physically. So we need to remain our healthy conditions physically and mentally in order to attain the Nibbana. So you think patients at the hospitals, when they are given the treatments by the doctors, a line of beds. So if you are in this bed, on your left hand side there is another patient. On your right hand side also, around you there can be different types of patients. If you look into the matter, when the doctor recommends the medication and whether other patients are taking the medications according to the doctor, or whether you take medication according to the doctor, what is the most important? When you are at the hospital, you are also a sick person, you are given treatments by the doctor without taking that medication, without following doctor's consultations or instructions. What you do is, you look at the other patients and examine whether they follow the doctor's instructions correctly. And complain the doctor, doctor, this patient didn't follow your instructions, and you tell something like that. You practice finding of others' behaviors, whether they take medication or not, but you don't take medication according to the doctor. Then what happened to you? Is there a possibility to live? Is there a possibility to recover your good health? Then what happened? The sickness will increase and you would die. Others around you will recover. They will live. Do you understand? The Buddha's doctrine is to recover your health, not the others. Others are also can follow the same instruction. Then practice is in your hands. That is up to you. Then you would recover the best health, success and happiness. Then you can attain Nibbana. Then the precepts. Why do we recommend the precepts? Kayena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu vachaya sangvaro. Manasapicha sangvaro sadhu, sadhu sabbhatta sanguto. Buddha says, one day, His Majesty King Kosala visited the Buddha. when I was alone, a great thought arose in my mind. What is that? Buddha question. This is how it came into my mind. If someone practices something ethical, something moral, by way of your speech, by way of your body, by way of your mind, that person protects himself. If someone does not practice something moral, something ethical, that means if the person practices immorality and something unethical, what happens? That person does not protect himself. He says, as a king, I have the guard from the four forces. You see, when you are prime minister, when you are a king, when they visit certain places, police will come and check, and army, three forces, the soldiers will come, their security forces will come, sometimes technological devices they use. Is it? Maybe if you are going to that ceremony, you will be checked by security forces. Why? Because of the protection given to the person. Given to the person. Understand? Then he says, I have such a great protection, but that is external. Even though I receive such a great protection, guard, security, if I behave immoral, if my behaviors are unethical, if they are evil, unwholesome, internally I am corrupted. Because of my corrupted nature, I would be reborn in a bad state. Security forces cannot protect that. Security forces cannot protect that. If they steal as king or prime minister, what happened? They are immoral. So the security forces cannot protect them. Definitely they will be affected by the bad behavior. If they kill someone, they would be affected negatively. So the security forces cannot protect them. Of course, they earn an insecurity. If you need to have a security, we have to think of our control. If you protect your behaviors by way of speaking, by way of bodily behaviors, and also by way of mental conditions, of course you have to have a great protection. You can have a great protection. So our behaviors by way of body, by way of speech, by way of mind, they should be moral, they should be ethical, they should be wholesome, they should be meritorious. Then of course you can earn a great security. You are suffering a lot means you are in threats, no security. That's why Venerable Bhante Punnaji always defined the term suffering as the insecurity of the life. So in order to provide a security for your life, that's why the observance of the precepts has been recommended by the Buddha. In order to tame you bodily and verbally. Could you understand? Bodily and verbally. Precepts means, the Pali word, Buddha's word is Sila. Sila. This is how it can be written down. Sila. Can you see? Yeah. This is Sila. Then Sila got different types of Sila. That means 5 precepts, Pancha Sila, 8 precepts, Attanga Sila, 10 precepts, Dasa Sila. Then the 10 precepts for the monks, Pabbajja Dasa Sila, novices, and the highest one is what? Upasampada Sila. Upasampada Sila is different from yours. Different from yours. Now you practice 10 precepts, you practice the 10 precepts of the novices. Then, on the top of the 10 precepts, the first one is Pānātipātā Veramani, Sikkāpadam. Second one is Adinnādāna Veramani, Sikkāpadam. In this chanting book, you can see under Panchasila, Pānātipātā Veramani, Sikkāpadam Samadhiyāmi. Adinnādāna Veramani, Sikkāpadam Samadhiyāmi. Not only in Panchasila, both of the precepts appear in they are part of 8 precepts, 10 precepts, and 10 precepts for the novice monk. On the other hand, when we come to the 8 precepts are the practices of the noble ones, purified ones. So, people have behaviors. Males have daily behaviors, females have daily behaviors, monks have daily behaviors, then the officers have the daily behaviors based on their profession or the status or designations. Different people have different roles and ethics and customs, traditions to be practiced. In the same manner, once people attain the Nibbana as an Arahant, Arahants have daily practices. So, how they behave, they have been examined and introduced as the behaviors. So, the 8 Aryoposata, that means 8 precepts, they are the daily behaviors of Arahants. When you observe daily behaviors of the Arahants, what you practice is you try to behave as an Arahant temporarily. Temporarily you try to become an Arahant, not an Arahant, but try to get a training to be an Arahant. Just like you go to the driving schools, before becoming a driver or before receiving the license, then what you do? From beginning, you start the learning and you get a proper training with experiences. Then government would recommend you as a driver, they will issue a license. Is it? Without that training in the driving college, can you become a driver? Even though you do not attend the colleges, sometimes you have to practice the driving outside. Definitely you need to have that training. In the same manner, 8 precepts are recommended for you to observe and practice at least once a month to get a training to become an arahant. Could you understand? So you are training as novice monks. You are getting a training to become a fully ordained monk one day. Maybe in this life or next lives. Because you need to shorten the sansaric circle, you also the same. Could you understand? Therefore, to tame your bodily actions and verbal actions, the way you speak, the way you behave, that is very important to control that. To introduce bodily and verbal, moral, ethical, wholesome and meritorious actions, we practice the observance of Sila. So the top one is Pānātipātā Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyāmi. You want me to write on the board, or can you refer to this text? Better to refer, use this text. Already you have. Then what is Pānātipātā? Pānātipātā means you look at the final word Samadhiyāmi. Samadhiyāmi means I observe. Sikkhapadam. Sikkhapadam means the precept, rule. I observe the rule, Veramani, to abstain. To abstain, Pānātipātā, from killing or destroying living beings. Destroy living beings. Some people understand when we repeat Pānātipātā Veramani, that is just to kill the living beings. Not only killing the living beings. Then what happens when you injure the living beings? If you cause any injury to the living beings, to cause their death, to shorten their lifetime, to weaken their strength physically and mentally, that is also a part of this precept. That is also a part of this precept. When we repeat Pānātipātā, Pānātipātā Veramani, the life of a being, that is very important. When we think of a life of a being, we don't consider that the being is human or animal. We consider together in overall picture is the sentient beings. Sentient beings. Sometimes these beings are visible. Sometimes these beings are invisible. Some beings, some animals, some living beings, sentient beings, you can physically see. You can see physically them. So we call that those visible beings. Sometimes they are invisible. You cannot physically see. Sometimes too small. Because of the nature of their body, you cannot physically see. Is it? So there are visible and invisible beings. There are human and non-human beings. Could you understand? Even though they are visible and invisible, even though they are small or large or big, even though they are sentient or human or animals, we don't consider. We just consider whether that is a life of a being. Then, in case of the big elephant, that is also a life. Then you all, as humans, life. Then what about mosquitoes, ants, bees? Do we consider them as life? Is it life? Then, depending on their meritorious deeds in the previous life, they can have different types of life. They can be reborn as a human or any other being. But the most important is, we have to consider whether it is a being. If it is a being which belongs to any category, no matter if we cause the death or if we cause injury to them, definitely you break the precept of panatipata. Precept of panatipata. Sometimes you can be born from the human mother, from the human mother's womb. Sometimes you can be born, many beings can be born from the eggs. Or the birth can happen in a different way. But that doesn't matter. If it is a being, we cannot kill, we cannot make wounds, or we cannot hurt them. Some people try to end up the life of some beings without letting them to naturally die. Could you understand? We bring the death to the beings without letting them to die naturally. So what is the most important thing? Let the people or beings have the natural death, or whether we bring the death. Natural death. Yes.
So if the animal, say for example, big animal, dogs, that's also being, right?
Yeah.
So if the dog is very sick, and the doctor said no choice really, we have to put to sleep. So it's not natural. How do we go?
Yes, I come to the point. Let me explain first. Sometimes some people, using the weapons, they try to cause the death. Could you understand? Then some people give the poisons. Some people blast the bombs. Some people use different types of liquids like acid. And some people try to cause the death using the what we call the water, or whatever strategies that people use to have the death for himself or themselves or others. And some people are beaten by using the sticks or many other weapons or whatever materials. Some people set up the different types of strategies to catch the people to cause the death. Some people do abortions as well. Some people make others afraid of something and let them die because of being afraid. different types of strategies. All these strategies cause the breaking of the precept of protecting others' lives. Panatipata. So, when we say Panatipata, we have to consider 5 matters. 5 matters. You can write down, no problem. The being should be a living being. He should have a life. That is the first one. Being a living being, living animal or living human or whatever beings with a life. The second one, you should feel that this is a living being. You should feel that, you should have the feeling that this is a living being. That mental condition. Then you should have the mind to kill that being. Mind to kill. Then you set up some tricks or strategies to kill. That is the fourth one. Fourth one, at the end, because of your strategies, your actions, the animal or the being, including humans, the being should die. When these 5 are complete, you break Panatipata. On the other hand, you don't want to cause the death, but you want to disable someone and to cause injury to the people, to be disabled. Then what happened? You know this person's 5 faculties are working together properly, then you know that is a being with a life. Then you want to have the feeling of making the people that being disabled, and you set up strategies. Then you set up strategies. At the end, you activate these strategies, and the being become disabled because of your strategies. Then the person has been injured. Then your intention is complete. In that case, what happened? You cause directly and indirectly the death to that person. You shorten the lifetime and provide different types of suffering. That is also part of breaking this precept. Could you understand? Some examples. One sister in Malaysia questioned me, Bhante, there is a sick person at home or hospital. So the person is suffering a lot because of the sickness. On the other hand, when the doctors and nurses, when they treat, that is also a burden to this person. Then can we decide that person to give some medication and say goodbye to, let the person to say goodbye to the world? I ask why? Because I cannot see that person is suffering a lot, then that's over. Indeed, that is not good. If you have caused such a thing to someone in your previous life, you have to what we call finish that unwholesome power. What you have brought from the previous lives, you have to experience. Because of your previous bad things or whatever akusala kamma, why others think to collect akusala, evil powers? So, on such occasions, indeed, brothers and sisters, our venerables, we need to be careful. We should not have such thought. We should not have such thought. Instead, you can practice anything you can protect and make the person's life long. Protect the life, not letting them die. That is the thing you have to practice. Therefore, you have to concern whether you should be aware of that being is a being with a life. You know this is a being, then you know this being has a life, then you have the intention to kill, then you set up the strategies to kill. At the end, the being will die because of you. Then we break the precept of panatipata. You think sometimes there are visible and invisible beings. Without knowing, maybe when you behave because of your way of walking, they die. What happened? Because of your food. But you didn't know any being have died because of you are walking. Then you are not aware of these things. You didn't know there is a being. You didn't have the intention of killing. You didn't set up any strategies. And but the death has been complete. Killing has been complete, but that happened without your understanding, without your involvement. Then no evil come. But if you do evil, if you do any killing, if you kill any being, having known that it is a life, and you have the feeling of killing, intention of killing, then you set up your mind to kill, use strategies and kill. Then of course you have break the precept. You see, there are two friends. You want to kill your enemies, but you don't directly involve in that, and instead you use another person or another strategy. Using another person, you try to make struggles, and from that person you try to kill that enemy. Then what happened? Whatever you verbalize, whatever you bodily perform, whatever you think, all those circle around your mind. In the mind, your mind, the thought is to kill the person. Your thinking style circle around a killing, using someone. Then of course that is also a break in this precept. Could you understand? Therefore, we have no right to kill anyone. We are bound to protect the lives of any being in this world with a life. See how the Buddha has protected the right of living in this world. That's why he advises his followers to not to kill or not to cause injury to anyone or any bad things to any life. That is the humanity in Buddhism. That is the humanity in Buddhism. Many religions try to introduce death punishment for the wrong practices for their followers. But Buddhism ever never introduced death punishment for anything. Instead, Buddhism appreciated forgiveness and allow people to live peacefully. Could you understand? If there is a rule in a country, if the country try to base on the Buddhism, they cannot promulgate death punishment for any reason. For any reason. I have heard in North Korea, if someone does wrong thing, especially foreigners, they are taken for the medical practices. When they leave, they cut their bodily parts and they let those parts to have for the doctors. Then the doctors will investigate their medical treatments when the person is living. So that is very hard. At the end, when they finish their treatments or practices or researches, the person will die. Person will pass unwillingly. Then what happened? That is also cause of a death. That is also cause of a death. I took these examples in order to explain you the dangerous situations that can create any situations of the breaking of this precept. You think you want to drink hot water, but you think I want to make hot water, now I will boil the water, but there are beings in the water. Okay, never mind. I don't care their life, I boil and drink. Of course, you don't think about the lives in the water, you cause the breaking of the precept. Instead, if you can filter the water and let the beings go away, and you clean the water and boil, no problem. Intention is very important. That is called Pānātipātā Viramani Sikkhapadan Samadhiyāmi. Second one, Adinādānā Viramani Sikkhapadan Samadhiyāmi. Yes. Of course.
So, I mean, there's always this saying like, for example, the last example you used the water.
Yeah.
Even after you filter, there's still for life, you still need to boil water, right? We have no intention.
You, with the intention of protecting their life, you filter the water. But you then think, I filtered water with the intention of protecting their life. You have done something. Why are you going into very, very deep thought? That's not good. So you have done something to protect their life. Of course, when you filter beings in the water, you can separate. But scientifically it happens, but your intention is to save their life and you filter one or twice or thrice, then you feel now okay, now I can drink. Because you have tried, you have set up strategies to save their life. If you have done nothing, then problem. That's why first of all, for cleaning, without cleaning directly, we just touch somewhere and make some sounds and let them go away.
We try usually, but if they decide that they try, they don't move.
If they don't move, you don't touch the place. And sometimes when you are cleaning, they will understand, maybe they will go away. It happens. There are strategies. If the being is not moving here and there, you may think of another strategy.
Try to catch them and then release
Oh
them
yeah,
somewhere.
try to catch and release somewhere, then you clean.
I think for me, I will just tell them, I'll come back in 5 minutes time, you better go. Otherwise, I will start cleaning, then you will die.
No, that is not. You may use strategies to find out a way of releasing.
No, I mean, I have done all those that I can do, so they're still there. So I just tell them, this is the final warning.
No, not final warning.
Final warning, still have to release.
You are a human, they are animals. How they can understand you? So that's why human means the people with the highest mind. You can set up any strategies to save their life. So you have to think of a way. Yeah, that's a must.
That means even with engaging helper to do that, we must ask the helper to do the same thing, right?
Yeah. If you persuade anyone else to save their life, that is also good. If that person, without understanding your intention, if that person tries to kill or destroy the life, that is up to the person. You are not behind that. You just allowed them to save the life only, your intention. Yes.
What about the white ants? White ants, they are in the house eating food. So when we call the pest control, they will still kill them.
Using technology or whatever. If your intention is to kill them or injure them, that is bad. But if your intention is you and those animals cannot be together and you should live separately, you just push them away to another place to live and to save their life. You think because of being there, you think your actions or whatever things will cause their death or will damage them. Because of that action, you may throw them away to save their life. Sometimes some companies, they try to set up certain strategies to kill animals and earn money. That is of course breaking the precept. It is wrong. So you try to stop their generation. So we don't have such a right. You think you are taken to somewhere and to work, the company or business people, wherever you work, they think you cannot, what we call, you cannot have the children. So the children should not convince you in your womb, and you should do something not to do. You do an operation. You know what I mean. I cannot use the direct words. Then what do you feel? That is not good. Do you work in that company or do you agree with the company?
Okay, in Malaysia, Bhante, the municipal council will come, and they will catch these dogs, and they're going to strangle them until they are dead. So, to avoid the
I know when you say the matter, that is wrong.
Yeah, so in order to help this...
That is actually wrong. On the other hand, you don't try to mingle these problems with. We are talking about the injuries and death. Could you understand?
Yeah, but the
No,
municipal
if
council...
any vein in the womb, if you destroy, that is not good.
So as long as there's no baby there,
Yeah.
we separate them.
Why you separate?
We rescue and separate the female and the male.
You don't have such a right. It does not happen. If you think because of the unity, the male and female, if they are going to have babies or puppies or whoever, they are children, your intention is to stop having children. That is an akusala karma. The people who did like that, what happened? Today they are born as humans, they are suffering a lot without children.
So let this spray have babies on the road.
Of course.
And let all these municipal
Of
council
course,
come and catch
they
them
need
and-
to have the children.
Yeah, let this municipal council come and catch them and they will die.
They will die means?
The municipal council will come and catch them, strangle them.
If they die because of unexpected reasons, that is their akusala karma. They are born as animals because of their akusala karma. Then what happened to them, we cannot stop. Why we are thinking of their akusala karma and try to separate their procedures? We cannot do like that. So we need let the world run as usual. But we need to withdraw ourselves from doing akusala karma. From doing akusala karma. That is the way. We need to withdraw, you need to withdraw yourself from the practice of killing beings. Could you understand?
Yes.
That's why samadhyami. Samadhyami means I observe, I withdraw myself from doing these wrong practices. Not others, but we can guide others not to do. But we don't involve in any other evil deeds they do. We don't want to be a part. Could you understand?
Yes.
Grammatically also in the precept there is a meaning. When I say panati pata veramani sikkhapadan samadhyami, samadhyami, me, ending in me sound, in Pali I observe. Then I need to withdraw myself. If we think of in the sense of we all together, it should become samadhyama. Samadhyama. But the precept doesn't say samadhyami, instead precept is samadhyami. You need to withdraw yourself fully or halfly. If you become a part of that evil deed, you need to withdraw yourself and stop you in doing the wrong practices. Could you understand? When others do something, you can, if you see you don't want to remain silent, instead you can raise your voice and ask, this is not good. But whether they stop for not to do those wrong things, that is up to them. But your duty you have done to save the life. The second one. Adinna dana veramani sikkhapadan samadhyami. If you have pen, adinna dana. Write down. Adinna dana. Adinna dana. Veramani sikkhapadam. So, when you offer dana, dana means what? Offering. Offering with intention, you practice generosity and expecting nothing in return. So, when you offer dana, you leave your right. Understand? You leave your right and offer. If you leave your right and offer something to me, it would be a dana. Because you have no attachment to that. Maybe legal right or a personal right or whatever right you have towards something, you leave it and offer. Adana means you have never given up the right. Could you understand? You have never given up the right and you have never given it to someone. Still, the thing is under you. That is adinadana. That belongs to you. You never give up the right and you never donated that. Adinadana means never given up the right and never donated. Such types of properties you can have, is it? Do you have? Can have. Then there is an owner. This owner has never donated this. This owner bears still its legal what we call rights, legal rights. Then if there is something like that, if he takes, having known that belongs to someone, the ownership is still the person remains. In that way, if you think and if you know that, but if you take those properties, what happened? You break the precept of adinadana. You break the precept of adinadana. To break this precept, some people try to evaluate the value of the things that the people have taken in the court sometimes. Whether the thing is small or big, the amount, the quantity is no matter. Quantity is no matter. That is evil. Evil deed is evil. It does not depend on the amount or quantity. Amount or quantity, we don't consider. Whether the stolen things are small or big, we don't think. You think, for an example, here I put a box of pencil or a box of pen. Then you need to write something. But I never told you to take a pen. I say the pencil box or pen box is mine. I never gave it to you. But you think, okay, Bhante don't think of much and I will take a pen. No need to tell, Bhante don't care that. You take a pen. What is the condition there? Is it stealing? Of course, yes. You cannot estimate whether Bhante is not thinking about that. Sometimes I think, when you say Bhante I took, but I think I don't like you to take that. I don't want to leave it. Then I want the ownership and I don't want to give it any pen to anyone. But you take. But in front you say I take Bhante, excuse me, something like, but I don't, verbally I tell, okay, it's okay, but mentally I think that person took my pencil or something like that. In that case, what happened? That is, of course, stealing. Because ownership is mine. Could you understand? Ownership is mine. But if I feel, okay, no matter, keep it away, you can use, and I drop the ownership, then that is not stealing. You trust the owner, then you think owner will be generous, then because of his generosity, he doesn't care this about, I can use, then I can inform later. In that case, no matter. Could you understand? But you think there are lots of wealth and you think that person is rich. If we take these small things, no disadvantages for that person, he has much things. You think in that way, and without informing the person, you take every day little bit of his resources. What happened? Stealing, because in Sri Lanka we say, in Sinhala we say, that person has money or resources or whatever things, just like the water in the sea. So if we get a drop of the water, no harm for that person. Even though no harm, even though that is very small, like just a drop of water, if the resources or the properties or those things belong to that person, they are not belong to us. Without that person's permission, if you take, that is indeed stealing. That is indeed stealing. Could you understand? So, sometimes we take directly in front of the owner, we take indirectly in front of the owner. Even though we take in that sense, maybe in our mind, jealousy, hatred towards someone because of their prosperity, wealth, goods, income, we try to take something unwillingly from the person. Sometimes we cheat the people and take the properties. That is also indeed stealing. You need to consider 5 facts in case of taking others' things in order to be a wrong practice. That first of all, it should be someone else belonging. Someone else belonging. Then you should have the intention, I am going to take someone else belonging. Then you should have the stealing mind, the mind to steal. Then you set up a strategy to take it. Then using that strategy, you take it and complete the task. If we complete these 5, of course, a stealing is happening there. When it happens there, no need to say you break the precept. Sometimes you say you need to take this water bottle, this belongs to me, you don't want to tell, you know this belongs to me. With the intention of taking this water bottle or whatever thing I put here, wherever I place there, you just move it to another place. Then I think that is away from my focus. Then you think whether the strategy is complete. Yes. Next day you move it to another place. Then for the last time you take it. Then you understand my focus is away. Then if there is weakness from my side, in order to focus, you utilize that to steal my properties. That is the breaking of this precept. One of the way of breaking. Could you understand? Therefore, when you break first precept, it will be affected you negatively, maybe causing for bad health, disability, and what we call sometimes the short life, sick life. Sometimes you would be killed by different types of people due to different reasons without your fault. Then when you break these, second one means adinadana, what happened, maybe that would definitely cause you to be born as a poor person and suffer a lot.
Bhante, let's say if Bhante go for Pindachara and then take back a lot of things and not use, so the people in the center, or they use it or they consume it, is it considered stealing?
Can you repeat the question again?
Sorry. Let's say if Bhante goes Pindachara and then people offer a lot of things, so it is not used, so it is put in the center. Can the devotee use it and consume it? Is it considered stealing?
Of course. But there is a way. For an example, if I go for Pindapata, people offer lots of things. You cannot decide what to do for those foods. Could you understand? If I take the enough food and if I ask you to, okay, this is enough for me, you can use this, you can use. But remember, many people in many Buddhist societies and countries and everywhere, they try to use Pindapata system in order to raise money and different goods to earn something to donate somewhere. If you use the Pindapata to earn donation for the children home, that is wrong. Pindapata is not to earn money, just to earn some food for breakfast and lunch for the people, not for the people, for the monk. For the monk, we cannot misuse that concept of the Buddha, practice of the Buddha for other things. We can say, this is loving kindness, why you cannot go Pindapata and earn something to give these children. They are innocent, they will eat something, they will be happy. So your kindness, if you have a kindness, you find a way of raising food or whatever things in your oven. But you don't persuade monks or don't try to misuse the concept of Pindapata.
No, Bhante, not misuse, but let's say, what is the proper way if...
Proper way, I said, just I added something. Could you understand? If the Bhante say, this is enough for us, you can use this additional food, you can use. But without his permission, you cannot use. If they feel, I need this, all this, if you try, cannot happen, committee of these people will decide, we want this, it doesn't happen. That is, of course, stealing. Pindapata is, that belongs to the monks only. That cannot be practiced by anyone else. If we say that is a habit of the monks only, that habit cannot be misused, cannot be misused. People misuse for certain purposes. Even in Sri Lanka once, a few years ago, it happened. Many people tried to have so many problems because of their corruptions when they are in the government. When the next government came into power, some monks went for Pindapata to raise money to pay for the court pieces for those people. That is wrong. That is wrong. Misusing the concept. When we misuse also, we are earning negative energies. Okay, that's all. Do you have some more question?
Regarding the killing, is it we want to save the higher beings than the lower beings? Okay, in the case COVID.
Higher beings means?
You see, we have been using vaccine to eliminate the virus. Is virus a being to survive? So in order to protect a higher being, which is human, most has undergone vaccination. Does it does it fulfill the killing precepts?
So that means
to protect, because we have to protect human being, we have to
then
vaccinate.
to protect the human beings, sometimes we give
have
the vaccinations for the animals.
No, we have to get vaccinated to kill the viruses.
Viruses, virus, how we can consider virus as being or life?
Yeah, unless we don't consider virus as a being, but when it enters a human, it becomes alive.
No.
How about bacteria?
Bacteria is not a life. It's not a life means the being. That is something happen in the body or somewhere due to the changes. So bacteria can produce children? No. Scientific, biologically, they should be beings. Could you understand? Everything can be born. Everything can be born. Virus, COVID also is a virus. But when it spreads, if we stop that, we cannot say it is alive. But we define the life of a bacteria or whatever, what we call the virus, the power of the virus. The power of the virus is defined as the life. But that is not. You see, the virus has no blood system. Features like a human or the beings. Could you understand? Bacteria is not defined as the beings according to the Buddha's teaching. Virus is not. We can create different types of virus, so bacteria or whatever things using different things. Yes.
What microorganism?
Microorganisms. Can you define the microorganism?
It's like when you go to the water, right, the sea, like you see,
amoeba, those kind of single cells. Bacteria is just single cells. They have DNA.
They are not
RNA.
counted.
They are not counted, is it?
No, they are not the beings like you.
they are moving.
They can move, but they are not beings like you. Beings means the animals. In this world, animals and the humans. Could you understand? They are not counted as the animals. Just simple way you can understand like that.
So you're saying a single cells without leg, without a head, all these things, they are not considered beings.
On the other hand, they should be beings that work with the mind. Could you understand? Yeah, got senses, of course. They should have 5 senses, 5 faculties to be counted as beings. First and second precepts are more important in order to establish a peaceful society. Peaceful society. In sociological perspective, these are recommended to avoid social issues, of course. The people make struggles because of stealing, because of properties. And people make struggles because of different things that they do for their life. Today, the businesses are very crucial and cruel. Some people sell people's bodily parts to another countries and exploit the humanity. Therefore, if you break the first one and second one, that is a damage for the whole human society. Whole the human society. These are, of course, Buddha's intention was from these to establish a peaceful society and in order to clean your mind. When the people are corrupted in the society, of course, when they apply corrupted applications for the society, the whole society become corrupted. That's why we just feel the right to live in this society for any being we have to save, and also right to save others' property. That's a great thing. If you live in a society that people have a huge respect to each other for their life and people try to save others' properties without taking, that environment is a patirupadesa, that means a good place to live, and you have no fear. You can live without fear and worry. That's why these precepts are recommended. As I said earlier, in order to tame your bodily and verbally actions of the body and actions of the verbalizing, speech and bodily behavior. So, if we get trained in that way, of course, we can end up this sansaric life as well. You see, some people are sick, doctors treat, but they never recover. Physically suffering because of the evil practices of the previous life. Venerable Moggallana passed away after getting beaten by the people. So that incident caused him to shorten his lifetime. What is the previous reason? He just set up the strategies for his parents to be beaten. Yeah. That means he hit his parents. Yeah. Not normal parents, they were blind. His blind parents were beaten by him. As a result, he was beaten and shortened his life. That is also a part of Panatipata. So he has damaged the life of his parents and caused them to die very soon. Even though he became the second chief disciple of the Buddha, he couldn't be free from that evil power. If you break legs, hands, or whatever physical faculties, parts, you have to be considered. You have to consider the nature of the evil power. When you think of the nature of the evil power, really if you get afraid of that, you will stop. Okay, thank you so much. By the power of these merits, may you be well and happy. May you be able to practice the virtuous life forever, and may you be able to shorten samsaric life, and may you be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Abhivadana Silissa Nichang Uddhapachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddante Ayuvanno Sukham Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevachato Nibbana Sampatti Iminate Samijjatu.